Ukraine confirms its intention to extend its counteroffensive to Donetsk. An advisor to President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed what the Institute for the Study of War already pointed out this Wednesday, that after recovering practically the entire Kharkov region, Ukraine intends to extend its counteroffensive to the Donetsk region. Now there is an assault on Lyman, Oleksiy Arstovik said in a YouTube video picked up by Reuters. And that is what they fear the most, that we take Lyman and then advance on Lysychansk and Severodonetsk, already in Lugansk. The self-proclaimed pro-Russian republics of Donetsk and Lugansk are part of Donbass. The American think tank highlights the attack on the Karachun Reservoir, in the western part of Kryvyi in the Dnipropetrovsk region, which on Wednesday caused an increase in the level of the Inhulets River of up to 2.5 meters. The attack on the hydraulic infrastructure of this city, which before the war had 650,000 inhabitants, was carried out with 8 missiles. The likely objective of this attack, for the ISW, was to stop the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the south of the country by damaging the pontoon bridges, floating infrastructures that Ukraine is building on the Inhulets, whose channel runs downstream between the Kherson regions and Mykolaiv. For its part, British intelligence highlights that Ukraine continues to consolidate its control of the newly liberated Kharkov areas, and that, although some Russian units withdrew in an orderly manner, others apparently fled in panic, leaving military equipment abandoned. Such abandonment highlights the disorganized withdrawal of some Russian units. President Zelensky visited the recently liberated Izium on Tuesday. Russia, for its part, continues its ground attacks throughout the Donetsk region, according to the ISW in its report on Thursday. During yesterday's session, Ukraine consolidates its gains in Kharkov and looks towards Donetsk. The Ukrainian army has continued in recent hours to consolidate its gains in the Kharkov region, which it has almost completely recovered in a very rapid counteroffensive of just a few days, and it is likely that it is launching offensives in Donetsk, according to the latest report. Institute for the Study of War, ISW. Ukrainian troops likely continued ground attacks along the Lyman-Yample-Bilohorivka line in northern Donetsk Oblast and may be conducting limited ground attacks across the Iskil River in Kharkov Oblast, the ISW concludes. The U.S. think tank explains that Kiev may be taking advantage of its advances in Svyatogorsk, just south of the border between Kharkov and Donetsk, 20 kilometers northwest of Slovyansk, to advance towards Lyman, controlled by Russia. In the Donetsk region, the Russian army has, for its part, made gains south of Bakhmut. On the southern front, the Ukrainian counteroffensive in Kherson continues at 3 different points: to the north, just south of the border of the Dnipropetrovsk region, to the east, along the Inhulets River, and to the northwest of the city that gives its name to the region. British intelligence, for its part, highlights Russia's first use of Iranian drones, after Ukraine claimed it had shot down one of these devices. London points out that Moscow is increasingly turning to countries also internationally sanctioned, such as Iran and North Korea, to obtain military material. The Ukrainian military on Thursday for the first time presented evidence of the use of Iranian drones in the Russian invasion, demonstrating deepening ties between Moscow and Tehran at a time when the Islamic Republic's ailing nuclear deal with world powers hang on a wire. U.S. intelligence services already publicly warned in July that Tehran planned to send hundreds of these bomb-carrying drones to Russia to help in its war against Ukraine. Although the Persian regime initially denied this, the head of its paramilitary Revolutionary Guard has boasted in recent days of arming major world powers. The Strategic Communications Directorate of the Ukrainian military published images of the remains of the drone. It resembled a delta-shaped drone that Iran flies, known as a Shahid, or witness in Farsi. Both the military official and the website said that Ukrainian troops found the drone near Kupiansk in the midst of the Kiev offensive that has pierced Russian lines around Kharkiv on the eastern front. The image suggested that the Shahid drone had been shot down by Ukrainian forces and had not detonated on impact as planned, although Kiev did not provide much more information about it. An inscription on the drone identified it as an M214 Gran 2, which did not correspond to known Russian weaponry. Iran's mission to the United Nations did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Iran has multiple versions of the Shahid, which have flown over a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf, been used by Iranian-backed rebels in Yemen, attacked oil depots in Saudi Arabia, and allegedly killed 2 sailors aboard an oil tanker off to Oman in 2021. The triangle-shaped Shahid is believed to have a range of about 2,000 kilometers, though Iran has offered few details. Experts refer to these types of bomb-carrying drones as loitering munitions. The drone flies to a destination, probably programmed in advance of its flight, and explodes in mid-air over or on impact with the target. In late August, U.S. government officials said Russia was facing technical problems with Iranian drones, which had numerous bugs in the devices, according to the sources who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss the U.S. intelligence assessment. They also pointed out that the delivery of Mohajer 6 and Shahid series UAVs for several days this month is likely part of a Russian plan to acquire hundreds of Iranian UAVs. Well, so far today's program, in which for the first time we wanted to talk about this conflict. I hope it has been of interest to you.